Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. Make it a rule never to give a child a book you would not read yourself. You see things, you say, why? But I dream things that never were, and I say, why not? If you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh, otherwise they'll kill you. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. Animals are my friends, and I don't eat my friends. Those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Youth is wasted on the young. There are two tragedies in life. One is to lose your heart's desire. The other is to gain it. If you cannot get rid of the family skeleton, you may as well make it dance. There is no love sincerer than the love of food. People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them. Never wrestle with pigs. You both get dirty and the pig likes it. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. When two people are under the influence of the most violent, most insane, most delusive, and most transient of passions, they are required to swear that they will remain in that excited, abnormal, and exhausting condition continuously until death do them part. The liar's punishment is, not in the least that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else. Why should we take advice on sex from the Pope? If he knows anything about it, he shouldn't. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. I am enclosing 2 tickets to the first night of my new play, Bring a Friend, if you have one. Cannot possibly attend first night, will attend second, if there is one. A Native American elder once described his own inner struggles in this manner: inside of me there are 2 dogs. One of the dogs is mean and evil. The other dog is good. The mean dog fights the good dog all the time. When asked which dog wins, he reflected for a moment and replied, "The one I feed the most." Patriotism is, fundamentally, a conviction that a particular country is the best in the world because you were born in it. He knows nothing, and he thinks he knows everything. That points clearly to a political career. You use a glass mirror to see your face. You use works of art to see your soul. A pessimist is a man who thinks everybody is as nasty as himself, and hates them for it. Dancing is a perpendicular expression of a horizontal desire. My way of joking is to tell the truth. It's the funniest joke in the world. If you have an apple and I have an apple and we exchange these apples, then you and I will still each have 1 apple. But if you have an idea and I have an idea and we exchange these ideas, then each of us will have 2 ideas. After all, the wrong road always leads somewhere. The play was a great success, but audience was a dismal failure. I'm an atheist and I thank God for it. You don't stop laughing when you grow old. You grow old when you stop laughing. Liberty means responsibility. That is why most men dread it. The only man who behaved sensibly was my tailor. He took my measure and knew every time he saw me, whilst all the rest went on with their old measurements and expected them to fit me. When a man wants to murder a tiger, he calls it sport. When a tiger wants to murder him, he calls it ferocity. My religious convictions and scientific views cannot at present be more specifically defined than as those of a believer in creative evolution. I desire that no public monument or work of art or inscription or sermon or ritual service commemorating me shall suggest that I accepted the tenets peculiar to any established church or denomination, nor take the form of a cross or any other instrument of torture or symbol of blood sacrifice. Better keep yourself clean and bright. You are the window through which you must see the world. When a thing is funny, search it carefully for a hidden truth. The fact that a believer is happier than a skeptic is no more to the point than the fact that a drunken man is happier than a sober one. The happiness of credulity is a cheap and dangerous quality of happiness, and by no means a necessity of life. All great truths begin as blasphemies. The man who writes about himself and his own time is the only man who writes about all people and all time. There are those that look at things the way they are, and ask why. I dream of things that never were, and ask why not? Without art, the crudeness of reality would make the world unbearable. This is the true joy in life, the being used for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, the being thoroughly worn out before you are thrown on the scrap heap, the being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I often quote myself. It had spice to my conversation. The trouble with her is that she lacks the power of conversation but not the power of speech. Liquor is the chloroform which enables the poor man to endure the painful operation of living. The most tragic thing in the world is a man of genius who is not a man of honor. What you are to do without me I cannot imagine. Criminals do not die by the hands of the law. They die by the hands of other men. Life does not cease to be funny when people die any more than it ceases to be serious when people laugh. We learn from experience that men never learn anything from experience. A government which robs Peter to pay Paul can always depend on the support of Paul. Power does not corrupt men, fools, however, if they get into a position of power, corrupt power. The power of accurate observation is commonly called cynicism by those who have not got it. A photographer is like a cod, which produces 1,000,000 eggs in order that one may reach maturity. Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last you create what you will. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. You'll never have a quiet world till you knock the patriotism out of the human race. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. When a stupid man is doing something he is ashamed of, he always declares that it is his duty. Doing what needs to be done may not make you happy, but it will make you great. Silence is the most perfect expression of scorn. Censorship ends in logical completeness when nobody is allowed to read any books except the books that nobody can read. The thought of 2,000 people crunching celery at the same time horrified me. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I have got a hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. Do not do unto others as you would that they should do unto you. Their tastes may not be the same. The difference between a lady and a flower girl is not how she behaves, but how she's treated. When you loved me, I gave you the whole sun and stars to play with. I gave you eternity in a single moment, strength of the mountains in one clasp of your arms, and the volume of all the seas in one impulse of your soul. If you can't appreciate what you've got, you'd better get what you can appreciate. No man ever believes that the Bible means what it says. He is always convinced that it says what he means. I'm not a teacher, only a fellow traveler of whom you asked the way. I pointed ahead of myself as well as you. In heaven an angel is no one in particular. I choose not to make a graveyard of my body for the rotting corpses of dead animals. As long as I have a want, I have a reason for living. Satisfaction is death. Reading made Don Quixote a gentleman. Believing what he read made him mad. Choose silence of all virtues, for by it you hear other men's imperfections, and conceal your own. While we ourselves are the living graves of murdered beasts, how can we expect any ideal conditions on this earth? Do not waste your time on social questions. What is the matter with the poor is poverty. What is the matter with the rich is uselessness. You have learned something. That always feels at first as if you have lost something. Happy is the man who can make a living by his hobby.